Welcome to an academic intervention training presentation brought to you by Angela Giles, Colorado Christian University. The systematic instruction approach that you will be learning about within this presentation is task analysis. Within this presentation, it will involve simplifying skill sets into a series of steps. This is an intervention to be used with high school students who are struggling with completing all of the steps involved in a multiple-step task. For example, this could be used with any assignment where it would be helpful for a student to break skills down into manageable pieces. It is imperative to remember that assessment data will determine the direction of the intervention. Careful consideration of what parts of the task the student has and has not mastered will need to be considered. As Trump et al. Cites, an individualized approach to assessment and intervention are what support the correct function of that intervention over what can sometimes become a generic or ineffective intervention. It is an important first step to be sure to set clear goal or outcome for the beginning based on the assessment needs of the student. Next, you will have to determine how to break down the task into very small steps or into larger groups of skills, depending on the child's strength and needs. Remember to consider how the student operates and what their interests are, and how many steps they can manage to best fulfill the final goal. Finally, you will have to directly instruct the student as to how to apply each step of the task to reach the desired goal or outcome. Perner and Delano recommend having the student use a visual to support processing and implementation. So what does this task analysis look like in the high school classroom? For example, an intervention for a student struggling to remember how to format an introduction paragraph could include 3 steps. The student's instructions would be as follows. Step 1 would be to excite your audience with the first sentence. Step 2 would be to present background sentence or 2 about your ideas. Finally, the third step would be to state your topic sentence or main point. Allow the student to create a slideshow or other visuals that help them step by step through this process of writing the introduction paragraph. And be sure to include a picture or a symbol that they find meaningful for each step. The writing supports and strategies presented by Clues also promote encouraging the student to experiment with materials, interests, and formats as well. Again, this will be a highly individualized process. The more you understand about how autism spectrum disorder students process information, the better the interventions will be. I've compiled the following resources to help you implement these interventions. The first is specifically on task analysis. The second one is actually just an overview of students on the autism spectrum. And finally, Perfectum has some options for interventions to use specifically with students with autism. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." An effective task analysis intervention provides a step-by-step plan that can be effectively used to help students access content with a clear path. It is the mission of a Christian educator to help each student fulfill God's plans for their future. With the use of evidence-based practices for students with autism spectrum disorder. You can help enable each student to do this. Here's a final list of the references that were used to compile this information.